Hurts. All right. Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. They got great specials right now. Yamaha Outdoor Motors. You can go down there and ask about their specials through June 15th this week. Also, rebates of up to $1,500 on G3 Suncatcher pontoons. That is now through July 3rd. No better place to buy a boat. Great specials, Madisonville Marine. Very quickly, we just want to point out the NCAA released its basketball attendance figures this week for the past year. Tennessee was down to number 17 in the nation. Now, you were 15 and 19 last year. You still finished 17th in the country in attendance.
Yes.
That's pretty darn good. But here's what I thought was interesting. Let's go to the graphic here. Tennessee's attendance has been dropping for a while. In 6 of the past 7 seasons, attendance has dropped. And for those of you saying, well, it's because Bruce Pearl, no, it dropped in Bruce Pearl's last 2 seasons as well. It was up in 2009, down in 2010, and you can see there where it fell from 4th to 5th in 2011, and then nationally 5th to 7th when Conzo Martin for his first year. For Conzo's second year, they dropped nationally to number 8, but the numbers were actually up. About 90 more people per game went from 2012 to 2013. Then it dropped for Martin's third year. Dropped for Donnie Tyndall, dropped quite a bit more under Rick Barnes. This isn't just, well, you lost Bruce Pearl. It's about losing. No, it's not about that. People forget, we pointed it out on the show, Mark Pankratz is well aware of it. People fell in love with the Bruce Pearl thing when the NCAA stuff happened, and now it was 6 years of glory. First 3 years were glory. There were people complaining the last 3 years. Does that tell you that this is a tough place to coach? Or do you look at it and say, you're 17th in the nation, who cares that attendance has dropped 6,000 per game?
I look at it and say, you got 14,000 people coming out to your games and you're 17th in the nation and you got a great arena.
If you're the athletic director, are you looking at it that way? And you're saying you went from 20,000 to 14,000?
You still, to me, for the product they put on the court, to have 14,000 people out there and be 17th in the nation, I say hats off ball fans.
I think the product they put on the court plus the product they bring into play on that court has something to do with it too.
But it was already dropping under Pearl. That's the point of that. Those weren't 15 and 19 teams under Martin. They weren't 15 and 19 teams under Pearl. And the numbers were still dropping. I just think that maybe an expectation part of this formula.
My answer is yes to everything. Yeah, I think it's a tough place to coach. And I think that also you have the other issues that cause it to continue to drop. The product coming in terms of the competition, last year's home non-conference schedule was brutal to watch. So that I think that helped in the decline, plus the losing that came with it. But John, you're right. In the last couple of years, people complained about the style that Bruce was coaching, even though they made an Elite Eight run with it. But fans were complaining.
And I think you could also look, John, and I think as somebody checked, it's part of a trend that's not just Tennessee. I think attendance has been dropping in football and basketball.
But clearly you're dropping more than others because you've gone from 4th to 5th to 7th to 9th to 17th.
Right, but I think that a lot of the games last season, I think we said, wow, look how Tennessee fans are still turning out even though they've got this terrible record. And I agree with that.
I agree,
so I
but
think
we're ignoring everything but last year.
No, I mean, I'm looking at what has been going on, but I still commend the Tennessee fans for turning out the numbers they are.
I agree with that. Congratulations. That's incredible. You get 17th in the country with a team that's 15 and 19. That's great. If I'm Dave Hart, I'm concerned. If I'm Dave Hart, I can't sit there and say, it's still 14,000. Well, it's 6,000 a game. Pshaw, who cares? I'm sitting there thinking, what's wrong here? And when I look back and I say, well, it's just we lost Pearl. No, that's not it. Well, we're losing. That's not just losing either. What's the issue? Why have you been dropping 6 of the last 7 years? I would have questions. Doesn't mean Tennessee fans are bad fans. I think expectations here are really, really high, and that plays a role in it. I think that the product, I think schedule, all of it plays a role, but I don't think you can ignore the fact that 6 of the last 7 years your attendance dropped, and you've only been bad, like bad, the last 2 years. Anyway, just my thought. I may be wrong. When we come back, Rocky Top, bands, Tennessee's first-round talent in baseball. We'll discuss all. Come on back on the Sports Source.